Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Laura from Cherub's Chalks Interiors, and today I'm going to show you one of my favourite colourful upcycles. This solid pine sideboard has a really nice shape, it's excellent quality, but the orange varnish makes it look a little bit dated. To prep this piece, I simply scuff sanded using my electric sander to get rid of the shine of that varnish. I have then chosen the colour, and I've gone for this gorgeous vibrant pink called Cottage from Dixie Belle's Chalk Mineral Paint line. I'm going to use my synthetic chip brush to get the first coat of this on. The finish that I'll be looking for is going to be a distressed look, so I'm not looking for something completely smooth and perfect. However, with the self-leveling properties of this paint and the fact that I'm using the synthetic brush, this is probably going to have quite a smooth surface. I use the first coat just to make sure that I get good coverage on all parts of the piece, including getting right into those details and all of the large flat surfaces. Once I've left that to dry for a few hours, I'm going to come back and do my second coat. This has already gone on really nice and smoothly, so there's no need to sand at this point. To make sure we get the best even finish, I'm now going to use my water mister spray bottle and give the surface a light spritz before I apply the paint. This is going to help the paint go on a lot smoother, and it's also going to probably save you a little bit of paint, as it's essentially watering down the paint slightly and helping it go further. You do only want to spritz slightly though, because if you do add too much water it can have the opposite effect and the paint will be too diluted, making the second coat pointless. What we're hoping to achieve here is a nice even finish and full coverage of the paint. The next part is the part I find most exciting, and that is decorating, this time with florals. This is the Wildflowers Silkscreen stencil. I absolutely love those delicate stems, leaves and flowers. And now I'm going to apply this to the drawer fronts and the doors. First things first, we have to remove the white backing sheet. Then you have to position the stencil exactly where you want it. I've already used this stencil, as you can see, but as long as you wash them straight after use, these can be reused several times. I'm then going to rub all over the top to make sure that this is stuck down properly and that there are no air bubbles. You want to make sure that this is laying completely flat to the surface. You then want to get a very small amount of paint on a sponge. I'm simply using a kitchen sponge for this process, and I've opted for cotton, which is a white paint in the Chalk Mineral Paint line. I'm then going to carefully rub the sponge across the stencil, making sure that the paint sits into each of the details really nicely, getting full coverage of the stencil and making sure that you don't miss any parts out. Once you are certain that you have full coverage of paint on the stencil, you can then peel off and remove the stencil. Make sure you do this gradually and slowly so that you don't smudge that gorgeous detail. And remember that if you want to use this stencil again, you need to get that stencil straight in the sink and give it a good wash. Take a look at those fine delicate details. I absolutely love the Wildflowers stencil. Now, I told you earlier on that I'm going for a rustic distressed look on this sideboard. Think real farmhouse vibes. So I've got my sander back out, and I've got a 120 grit sandpaper, which I'm going to use to rub gently all over the edges. Any areas where I think would get naturally distressed over years of use. I'm looking for a real authentic look. Now we need to seal in all of that paintwork for protection. I'm using my La Petite brush and some Best Dang wax in clear, and I'm just simply going to apply this all over, working that in really well to the paintwork. This will help the paintwork stay durable and last longer. Now I'm going to use a rag from my bag of rags, and I'm simply going to buff off any excess by rubbing this rag all over, working that wax further into the paint and making it nice and smooth. Now, to add some depth and dimension, I'm going to add some layers of brown Best Dang wax. I'm going to focus on adding this to the corners and the edges, mainly over the areas that I've already distressed, as I want to add further age and character. I'm then going to grab my rag again, and I'm going to use this to blend in that brown so that it looks natural. Once that's all finished, we're going to reapply all of the hardware, and here is the finished look. This piece really is so special. I don't know which part I like about it most. I love the vibrant colour, I love the stenciling, I love the age and depth created by the wax. I just think it is perfect. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this project. I hope that the process is easy to follow and that you're able to create something just as gorgeous for yourself. Remember, you can find us on all of the social media platforms at Cherub's Chalks Interiors, where you can see more of our work and past, present and future projects. I can't wait to see you there. For more videos like this, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment and turn on your post notifications to get notified when we next post. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.